hair dynamics is an important part of getting the hair to actually animate realistically. And there's a few simple steps that need to be followed to make sure that the actual hair dynamics works as good as it can. So first of all, let's take this character here. What we have is a simple animation on the head. So I'm just going to turn off the render hair so we have a bit more of a performance update. So we have him shaking his head kind of vigorously, and that should give a pretty good effect with the dynamics applied. So what I'm going to do is the first thing we want to do is just apply the dynamics. So let's just hit dynamics with the hair selected, and we should see an effect right away. There we go. What we have here is a few settings that I'll go over for dynamics. Basically, the hair dynamics works by writing a cache file to disk per frame. So the first thing you want to do is actually rename the path here, because the same default name is used for all hair objects. So within the same scene, if you have multiple hair objects with dynamics, you could get a situation where the cache files are writing over one another, and you'll end up with kind of bogus results. So that's a good habit to get into. You've got modes here where you can just reset the dynamics. So you can see we're back at the default pose. So as I scrub through the animation, we'll get the hair kind of reacting to dynamics. We can quickly reset it back to the original state and resimulate. And we've got an option here to clear the cache files. So at the moment we're in live mode. So that means no cache files are generated. It's simply an interactive mode where it'll compute the dynamics on the fly based on the actual interaction, the frame changes you're doing to the UI. So it's a good working mode, and it saves time of preventing you or allowing you not to have to generate large cache files. But what you want to be working with really when you're ready to render is the two other modes. So we've got a read and write mode, and what that does is if there's no cache file already there, it will write it to disk. So at the moment we don't have it. So if I move to a new frame, you'll see we're computing the cache for those frames. And then once it's finished computing the cache for those frames, it will automatically read it. So we'll just let that finish. There we go. So now when I scrub back, it's actually reading off the cache file. So you see it's not computing anymore. So really what you want to do when you're ready to render is you want to go to the beginning, you want to clear the cache, you want to reset your dynamics, go in read and write mode, go to the end frame, calculate the cache for the entire timeline fully. I'm just going to cancel that, and then switch the mode to read only. And so now you can send that off to be rendered, and there's no worry about new cache files being written or it using the wrong data. It'll only read the data at that cache location. And this is something to remember for the farm too, is you want to have one machine with the cache files generated on it. All the render farm machines can access the cache file, and the scene is set to read only. So that way you're playing it safe, and you won't end up with each machine generating its own cache and potentially giving you flickering or incorrect results. So let's just go a little bit more into the actual dynamic stuff. Actually, I'm going to go back there. Let's switch back to live mode here. And what we're going to look at next is just getting a good simulation out of the hair with some obstacles.